in our Skool community, anytime we post that we're going to have these live calls, if you have questions, you can drop your question on there, and then we will choose one of those questions to discuss here. So the question is, can your protagonist have the mindset of a villain? Your protagonist can be a bad person. That's what I'm going to assume you mean by villain, right? Your protagonist does not have to be a good person. I think because of, the kind of movies we grew up on, we assume that protagonists are good guys and antagonists are bad guys. But your protagonist can be a flawed good guy or an empathetic bad guy. The second Joker movie comes out this week. He's not a good guy, but he's very empathetic and I understand him. So as much as he's a villain, I kind of want him to be because I understand how he got there. So it's totally okay. I also want you to consider that because a protagonist has a goal, an antagonist also has a goal. That goal is usually the same as the protagonist or in competition with the protagonist, and that's why they're the antagonist. Which means if you decided to tell the story from the antagonist point of view, then the antagonist would be the protagonist and the protagonist would be the antagonist because the protagonist would be in the way of what this antagonist wants. But because we're telling it from their point of view, we want them to win. So that's how you write dimensional, impactful characters. You give them both 3 dimensions. You make them equally as dimensionalized so that we invest in them. And that makes it harder, right? So if you think about Black Panther, Killmonger is our antagonist, but is he? I mean, maybe I'm on his side. But it's Black Panther stories. So, right. So you want people to be kind of warring with that between your antagonist and your protagonist, depending upon what you're writing, right? Sometimes you are writing something and they're just purely evil and that's what it is. But your protagonist is allowed to be flawed. We actually like flawed protagonists these days. So if you're thinking, can my protagonist do bad things? Absolutely. Your job is to prove to us why we should be invested in them doing those bad things. Think about that show. I don't know why it's on the tip of my tongue. Can't think of it. What's the name of that show?
No, it was Showtime, Dexter.
Thank you.
That's so many. Yo, you talking Dexter?
Showtime,
Okay.
Dexter. Right?
He was a serial killer that killed other serial killers.
Dexter is a serial killer and it's a TV show, which means we really have to be invested in you because we're going to be here for seasons. So your job is to show me how they are still just a human being who has this bad thing. And in this particular case, because he killed serial killers, we thought, oh, well, that's fine. He's killing bad guys, but he's still killing people, y'all. Murder is wrong. So the answer to your question is yes, your protagonist can be a villain.
The professional pen. The professional